Godot supports C Sharp and a lot of people use it. But why? Is C Sharp better for Godot games? Can it give more FPS than GDScript? Or can it protect my game's source code? So to find out, I decided to try C Sharp in Godot myself, and wow, it's not what I expected. Stick around till the end and you will know all the pros and cons of using C Sharp in Godot. The first thing I needed to do was download the .NET version of the Godot engine to use C Sharp. Here's the plan. I'll create a simple Flappy Bird game in Godot using C Sharp. I already have the same game made in GDScript, so I'll recreate it in C Sharp and compare both versions. I started by creating a simple bird scene and it was time to attach a script to it. In my GDScript version, inside the process function, I just check if the flap input is pressed and the game isn't over. Then, I make the bird flap by changing its linear velocity on the y-axis. Now, the question is, how do I convert this logic to C Sharp? First, let's attach a script, language, C Sharp and create. And here we go, a C Sharp file. But I think Godot's text editor doesn't have a built-in syntax highlighting or autocomplete for C Sharp. How to use VS Code with Godot? Editor settings, then text editor, external, and check use external editor and then set the path of the VS Code executable. So, editor settings, external, and use external editor. But where's the option to add the path of the VS Code? Maybe I'll see it if I enable advanced settings. Yup. Code.exe, and now if I double click a script, it should open it in VS Code, and yep, it works. Time to convert this code into C Sharp. Pascal case is used to access the global APIs in C Sharp. An example C Sharp script. Okay, so I can call the physics function in this structure. Public override void and then same physics process function name but in Pascal case and the parameters and curly braces. Then if input dot is action just pressed but in Pascal case, flap and then linear velocity for y-axis to -400 and the moment of truth. Building and failed. Check MS Build panel for details. Oh yeah, I forgot semicolon at 9th line. Fixed it, now it should work. Yup, it's working. My first ever C Sharp script in Godot. Next, I need a global C Sharp script like this. But is it possible to add a C Sharp script as an autoload? Let's see. Create new script, language C Sharp and create. And yeah, I can select a C Sharp script as an autoload in Godot. So I created these two variables and they are accessible just like in GDScript. So far, so good. The next thing that I need is a pipe scene. I created it the same way and added basic logic to spawn and move the pipes from right to left. But when I ran the game, the pipe wasn't moving. Even though I place it on the right side, it just teleports to left and stays there. What's the issue? The code looks correct. So what am I doing wrong?
11 minutes later.
Why this is not working in C Sharp for physics process? The pipe just moves to the left side of the screen and stays there. Control V and enter. Oh, I am so dumb sometimes. I am not adding or subtracting from the existing position value. I am just setting the same position every frame. That's why it's not moving. To fix this, I need to subtract the speed from the X value. Okay, minus the speed. And let's increase the speed to 50. And now it should work. Yup, pipes are being spawned every 2 to 3 seconds. It's time to connect some signals so we can detect when the game is over. C Sharp callbacks aren't guaranteed, so we will need to add them manually. Okay, connect. And yup, it doesn't work. We don't get a method automatically created in our C Sharp script like GDScript when we connect a signal. How about declaring an onBodyEntered method in the script first, then picking that method from the method list? But I don't see it in the compatible methods list. When I disable this, here's our onBodyEntered method. So let's see if it works or not. I see onBodyEntered here, so it should work, but it doesn't. Method not found. But I have it right here. I even tried disconnecting and reconnecting it multiple times. Still nothing. So what am I doing wrong?
A few moments later.
Maybe it's because the method isn't showing up in the compatible list. But why is this not compatible? Hmm. The body entered takes body as a parameter. Oh, my function declaration does not have this parameter. Maybe that's the issue. And I should see the method in the compatible list. Compatible methods only, and I see on body entered. Let me go ahead and rename the function back to Pascal case just to follow C# naming conventions. Connect it again and it should work now. And yep, it works. But wait, the signal fires a little late. What did I do wrong this time? Oh, I get it. In the excitement, I accidentally connected the method to onBodyExited instead of onBodyEntered. And this time it works perfectly. Next, I created a simple UI scene and attached a C# script to it. And guess what didn't work? Drag and drop. In GDScript, we can just drag and drop into the script and it auto creates a variable reference. In C#, nope. You have to manually use get node and there's no autocomplete. Not exactly convenient. And to make things worse, even while debugging in the Godot editor, we can't see the values of the variables in the inspector if we are using C#. Yeah, no live variable updates, which makes debugging a lot more painful. Anyway, I connected the rest of the signals the same way, even created a custom signal. It wasn't as straightforward as in GDScript, but after some back and forth with the docs, I got it working. And here we go. We now have a walking Flappy Bird clone in C#. Passing through the pipes increases the score, the game over screen appears, and the restart button works. Now, I had two versions of the same game, one in GDScript and one in C#. I exported both with the same export settings and now it was time to test. This one's the GDScript version and this one's the C# version. Everything is almost identical, even the file size, except the C# one has this extra data folder. I have no idea what that's for. So let's first run the GDScript version. To measure the frame rate, I recorded the frame rate of first 30 seconds of gameplay. It averaged around 5630 frames per second. Now it's time for the C# version. I have a feeling that this will perform better than GDScript. But to my surprise, it didn't. It only averaged around 4200 frames per second. That's roughly 25% fewer frames than the GDScript version. I honestly didn't expect that. It should have been faster since C# is a compiled language. If you have any idea, let me know in the comments. Anyway, let's move on to testing security. If I drag and drop the GDScript version here, you can see that all my project files are visible in plain text. If your game isn't encrypted, anyone can extract the entire project just from the exe file. But if I do the same with the C# version, I can see the project files, but all the scripts are blank. This tool can't extract your C# code. Even if I extract the whole project, I get all the assets and everything, but not the scripts. So, if you export your game with encryption, and if someone somehow gets the encryption key, they still won't be able to access your code. So, C# definitely adds an extra layer of protection, but also a lot of headaches. It's not nearly as simple as GDScript. So, am I going to switch to C# in Godot? No. I love the quality of life features that GDScript offers, and in my tests, C# actually performed worse in terms of frame rate, but I might still use C# occasionally for the parts of the game where I don't want the logic to be easily reverse engineered. For everything else, GDScript works perfectly. Who said we need to stick to just one language anyway? We can use both C# and GDScript together. What about you? Let me know in the comments. Do you use C#, GDScript, or both?